we're here to talk about JC and some of his math struggles that we have had this year. So let's start in fourth grade. He passed all his essential standards except 4x1 division. In that time that he was in fourth grade, he got instruction obviously in tier 1 and in tier 2 and tier 3. But they didn't see a huge jump in it. I think it went from 20% to 40%, and he just kind of struggled there. So um, so they just kind of kept it at the tier 2, tier 3 mark in fourth grade. They used manipulatives and partial quotient, which helped improve some, but not a whole lot. So when he came to fifth grade, we use what's called Math 360. Math 360 are boards all along the wall, and they do 15 problems a day of review. And that's where we really started to see JC really struggle in doing his board work. That was pretty apparent that he was falling behind. We also took an iReady diagnostics test, which we're in fifth grade now, and he tested at the second grade level, and then in numbers and operations, he was at the third grade level. So what we decided to do once we saw that is we decided we did a little bit of tier 2 and tier 3 with him again, and it really wasn't making a big difference. So we called mom, said, hey, are you fine if we put him in a small group outside the classroom to work on this skill along with some other skills? And she agreed with that. And thank you for that, Mom, because that was great, because that's where we saw Jacob really change. In the classroom, he didn't really talk to people. He didn't really answer. He did stuff, but just went through the motions. He never really responded. Wasn't eager to answer, just quiet. So then when we put him in the small group, his confidence flourished, and he would answer. He was excited to work, and we only had 3 or 4 kids in the room. So what we started to work on was his multiplication facts, because we saw that was part of an issue. Some of it was subtraction and regrouping, which we worked on that some, but we didn't hammer that because I only saw it on a few of them. And then some of it just writing the wrong number down, and he would get frustrated at himself on that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting all my paperwork here. So we really started hammering the multiplication facts before we even really started dividing. And then, he would still use his fingers in repeated addition for some of them, and it was totally fine. And he works much better if we break things down. Don't give him a ton of stuff to do at once, but something 5-10 minutes, 3 or 5, no more than 5 problems at a time, did great. Before we moved him in this, I do need to go back. Before we moved him to this room, he took our essential standards on whole numbers division and multiplication and only got a 40. And with that, on the other board work, that's partly why we made that small group decision. So after we did the incremental rehearsal with flashcards, bingo, just worked on facts every single day, that started to improve. We would take 10 minutes or so to work on that. Then we started doing division problems, but working them out together on the board. And then we would start doing step by step, with that step by step in the explicit systematic instructions, which this has really been, proven to work with What Works Clearinghouse. So to, see if he got the steps. And he was getting the steps, but once we broke it down, like I said, he had a few flaws in there, but not one exact flaw of what it was. So what we started to do with our data is, and I'm going to show you this, and you have a copy of it, is working on the multiplication facts of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those were the easier ones for him. And worked on 8 division problems together. He got 2 out of 8 correct, and regrouping was more his problem that day. Week 2, we worked on multiplication facts 5, 6, and 7, reviewed the others, worked on 4 problems together. It was a shorter week, and got 2 out of 4, so 50%, and he had trouble with the facts, but only once in the incorrect problem. Session 3 worked on, week 3, sorry. We work every day, but we broke it down to weeks. Worked on multiplication facts 8 and 9, worked on 10 problems together, and then 5 on their own with no help. The 5 we worked on together, he got 4 out of 5 with an 80%, but he only got 3 out of 5 on his own at 60%. So we are seeing a growth there. Week 4, we worked on facts 10, 11, and 12, reviewed the others, worked on 3 together, and then 7 on their own, and this took a couple of days to work on. He got all 3 divisions right that we went over, but then he only got 4 out of 7 on his own, which was 57. So we saw a plateau and go back a little bit. Since we're towards the end of the year, we were a little concerned. So we really stepped up that one-on-one instruction with him and going over it a little bit more. So then week 5, we reviewed all the multiplication facts, did 2 example problems and 5 on his own. He got 4 out of 5 on his own, correct, so he got 80%, which was the goal. In week 6, we reviewed all the facts again. We did a 10 problem assessment. Now we did break this down because he does not work well all at once. He got 8 out of 10 correct. He did regroup wrong on one problem, and then got a multiplication fact wrong on the other, so 80%, which really happy. He met his goal, so we started trending up, and then when we plateaued, we really hammered that one-on-one. In his first assessment, he got 20%. On his last one, he got 80%. And same, you can see that data right here. So I think the one-on-one really helped JC with his division. And I would like to keep working with him just so he will keep that goal or improve just a little bit more. But we're going to back off help more and more each week and see if he can keep that skill. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.